To episode 61 of the Spotlight Games podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about Elden Ring. Got some new DLC just ahead of the Game Awards, so we're going to talk about it. We're also going to be talking about the new Star Wars Jedi Survivor teaser, also going to be at the Game Awards. And we're going to be talking about that new Last of Us HBO trailer. Oh, it looks so good. And hey, maybe if time permits, we might talk about some Netflix stuff. We're going to see. But joining me, as always, to my screen right, my actual across the city virtually, my sweet dumpster boy, Cayman Darty. Cayman, it's a new dawn. It's a new day. How we feeling?
Loaded question, Patrick. But I will say, for those of you that are watching us live, I got a new camera. So
Woo!
John out there can shut the fuck up about how terrible my video quality looks. I look actually probably worse now because it's high def.
Because we can see all of the issues.
We can see all of the blemishes and all of the tiredness in my face. And
you look great.
No, I'm feeling good, Patrick. I'm feeling okay, maybe not good. I'm feeling like I'm ready to talk about some video games.
And hey, that's really all I can hope for, all I can ask for. So why don't we do that? Because we have a lot of video game stuff to talk about, because this is the Spotlight Games podcast, where each week we spotlight the latest and the greatest in the world of video games. You can get it by subscribing to our YouTube channel at Spotlight Games Pod, or by searching for Spotlight Games in your favorite podcast app. And hey, you can be on the show by tuning in as we record live Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern time on twitch.tv/Spotlight Games Pod. So be sure to follow us there so you're notified when we're going live, so you can be part of the conversation. Cayman, it's December. You and I are both celebrators of the holiday of Christmas, not for religious reasons, but for fun reasons. And because of that,
is there anything fun about celebrating Christmas in our age?
Come on. You got presents, you got fucking
Do you still get presents?
Trees?
Do you still get presents? I mean,
so my family, I mean, Rose is a present, but outside of that, my family on Thanksgiving, we have a little tradition.
Sure.
Where my mother, although this year we pulled the names ourselves, my mother typically pulls 2 names for each of us. Some call it Secret Santa. I just almost said. Where we each get 2, and this is everybody. This is spouses, girlfriends, siblings, not dogs, so not everybody. Which that's an idea. Mom, I know you're not watching, but Roxy, Molly, they're in next year. And so we just have to get presents for those 2 people. So, and then my parents still get us. I mean, I'll get the new sweater, I'll get the new socks, which I love every year, and I hope never stops. But yeah, I love Christmas. It's my favorite time of year. Call me a fucking jolly old bitch. But
see, I like the month of October is my favorite, but that's neither here nor there. Santa does love Patrick's big ass, though.
It also helps that this sweatshirt, Santa loves my big ass.
You know, Patrick, I just dawned on me. I've completely forgot to order you a Christmas present, so I'm gonna have to.
I haven't ordered you one, but it's only the 6th.
Yeah, but have you seen shipping times on Amazon right now? Nightmare.
I haven't.
Nightmare.
We're gonna make it work. Cayman, but so I said all of this to tee it up, and then I didn't, because I just started talking about myself, because that's the kind of guy I am.
Fair.
Trashmas is happening for Save Trash Cinema. Tell the folks at home what is on the feed today.
You are correct. And honestly, I completely forgot that we even had an episode launch today. And I really hope that I did socials for it, because I can't remember if I did. On this week's episode of Save Trash Cinema. Yeah, I said it right. We are celebrating full force the Merry Christmas, the Merry Holiday of Trashmas. And we started last week off by talking about Christmas horror films and some of our favorites. And then this week, I actually pulled from that list, and we did one of my personal favorites, Santa Slay, starring none other than Goldberg from the fucking WWE.
Oh my God, what a flick.
A serial killer Santa Claus. That movie is fucking incredible. Honestly, one of the greatest Christmas films ever made.
I don't want to spoil the episode per se, but I was very skeptical going into it. And I got to say, you got to watch. Everyone has to watch this movie, Santa Slay. It's a tight 72 minutes. Like, what more can you ask for? That's like barely longer than an episode of Succession. So fucking get to it.
Yeah.
Also, Kayla in the chat. Hey, Kayla. How you doing? But yeah, so new episode of Safe Track Cinema. Those are going to be coming out live every Tuesday. So subscribe to that feed as well. Keep an eye out. We're going to have a lot more
I can tell you right now,
Christmas
Patrick,
content.
we have a very, very fun Christmas film coming out that we're doing for Trashmas next week as well. And I'll give a little bit of a teaser. Guess who one of the special guest hosts is? Mrs. Dumpster Boy.
Oh boy, the dumpster girl herself.
Mrs. Dumpster Girl is going to be on this episode for the first time ever. She's going to be on an episode, so very excited to have her on. She is jazzed up for the movie we're doing too. So.
I can't wait to listen to her on a podcast. We do need to double check that she's okay being called Mrs. Dumpster Girl though. But we got to make sure she's cool with that.
Yeah.
All right, Cayman, we've talked long enough about not video games. Let's talk about video games with what we're playing. Cayman, last week we spent nearly 2 full hours having an entire spoiler cast with friend of the show Cam Hawkins. So we didn't talk about any news. We did talk a little bit about what we were playing. But what have you been playing since then? Are you still just hard on the Pokemon train? Or are you introducing anything new to your life?
So I'm balancing two. One, Pokemon, obviously. Two, today is the last day of Rocket League Season 8, so I had to get in. I had to make sure I hit tier 100. I had to make sure I got all my rewards before the end of the season, so I've kind of grinded out a bit of that to get there. I accomplished it. No biggie. But yeah, no, Pokemon is where I'm at. I'm pushing 60 hours at this point. I've caught, I want to say 337 of the 400 Pokemon. I've rolled credits on the main story.
Sure.
And once you roll credits, you have there's in-game content and stuff. And then, you can really just go explore and do everything you want to do. Yeah. And so right now, that's kind of what I'm doing is finishing up that. I don't know. I feel like the in-game content this time around is a little light. A lot of times you have now you're going to go catch some legendary, and there are legendaries to catch and things like that. But I don't know. It's the in-game content feels a little sparse and a little like we're retreading water on just certain gameplay mechanics from the actual game. But with that being said, this is still the most fun I've had with a Pokemon game in years. There's no question about that, at all. This is
no question.
Very much. This is the best Pokemon game I think they've ever made.
I'm curious. Do you think this is going to crack your top 3 or 4 for Game of the Year this year?
That's a good question. I would probably put it in the top 5.
Okay.
I would say for me right now, if I just teaser, I would have to say it's going to be 1 or 2 will be Elden Ring, God of War. That's going to be your 1 or 2. 3 most likely is going to be Horizon Forbidden West, and then 4 or 5 will be either Pokemon in another game. That's if I had to do, which obviously we save our big Game of the Year picks for our big spectacular that we do every year. Which
I got some ideas for. I got some ideas for this year. I haven't talked to you about them, but I got some ideas.
I distinctly remember there's a joke I have to try to figure out what I said the last time that I was
oh, that's right. There was something
we do every year, so I have to remember what that is. I'll have to go back and listen to it and pick it out. But yeah, no, I definitely think look, I've already beat the game, and I'm in terms of in-game content, I still have some legendaries to catch, and I still have just some things I don't want to spoil anything for anybody because this is spoiler free, but I've got some stuff. So I would probably say I probably have probably another, depending on if I want to complete my Pokédex, probably anywhere from another 5 hours to maybe 10. 10 is if I'm really grinding down to try to figure to actually do it. I guess it really depends on how long it's going to take me to catch 2 Applins. Which may
still haven't got one.
Oh no. Still have not caught a single one. Boy. So that might be 10 hours just by itself, honestly. Outside of that though, no. I definitely think in terms of Pokemon, I know that this is very divisive because people are going to be like, ooh, what about, and they're going to name whatever Pokemon that they like the most. And I think that's what's great about Pokemon, right? Is that we love everything that there's one that's for everyone. There's a lot of nostalgia there, so people a lot of times will fall back on those. But I think in terms of the way this game is structured, especially with the new patch out that's really fixed a lot of the performance issues, this game fucking rules.
Yeah.
This is awesome, man. This is like a really, really fun Pokemon game. And I definitely think this is one that is good. Like, I think it's one that you could sit down. You can get someone who's never played Pokemon before to like really get into it. And you can get someone who is like a diehard Pokemon person can also find something to love here. And I think that's what's special about Pokemon, especially this version, is that it is good for everyone. And
Yeah.
I think that it's a good starting place or just a good place for people who love the series to continue forward. So definitely
Hell
high
yeah.
up on it. I know you've been playing a little Pokemon, Patrick.
I have. So I put a little bit more time into it compared to, I've been really going hard on God of War.
Mhm.
And so I hadn't really been playing much of Pokemon because I was a little behind pre-spoiler cast. So I had to really cram that in. So I've played a little bit since last week, and I don't know what's happening with me. I have two theories, but this game is just not clicking for me so far. And my two working theories presently is number one, I think it's kind of having the Elden Ring effect on me. And what I mean by that is once you're out of the tutorial, this game is like, go do whatever you want. It could be the gyms, it could be just working on your Pokédex, but we're not going to tell you what to do. Go do it. And I'm having this like anxiety of like, I don't know what to do. I'm locked up on
Sure.
my little motorcycle Pokemon, which is great, by the way. I finally got to
Oh,
ride him
yeah.
for the first time the other day.
Yeah.
Awesome. And so I'm every time I sit down to do it, I'm kind of running around. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I feel like I'm wasting my time just running around, but I think that's kind of like what I'm supposed to do. But I'm having this weird, I don't know. It's a hard feeling to describe, but I had this same feeling with Elden Ring where I was like,
Mm.
I'm lost. And I feel like I just wish I had someone here to tell me, go do this, and then you're going to figure it out. And part two of my working theory is I still cannot stop playing Marvel Snap. So
Mm.
I'm on my Switch. We're watching a show. I'm trying to catch a little Fido, spelled like Dough,
Yeah, sure.
and I'm like, I want to just give this new deck I'm working on another shake. And then that match turns into 7 matches, and then it turns into 15 matches, and I'm like, shit. I've been playing Marvel Snap for an hour and a half, and I wanted to use tonight to play Pokemon. So like those are like the two things that are keeping me from Pokemon right now. But I do want to continue playing. I'm not by any means saying I'm done with it. I'm just surprised with how much I adored Arceus, which could
Mm.
crack my top 5 potentially. There's a lot of competition right now for me, but I adored Arceus, and I was thinking that this would be like the next evolution for me, and it's just not. It's not working for me yet. So I'm gonna give it some more time. But I've also last night came in. I
Mhm.
played, let's call it 90 minutes of Sonic Frontiers.
Sure.
If there's anyone in our audience that would like a copy of Sonic Frontiers,
Really?
I am willing to give you my copy. And Cayman, if you want it to try it,
Yeah, no, I definitely wanna
I
try it.
have never in my life not clicked with a game so hard than I have with Sonic Frontiers. And like I don't like I know that's like, here, have this copy of a game I think is
It's
bullshit.
trash.
But like I've never had so much trouble giving a shit about a game. Like I I'm playing this game and I'm running around as Sonic, the blue blur, you call him.
Sure.
And it's like it's a pretty atmosphere. It's very the Kojima game with The Walking Dead.
Death Stranding.
It's very Death Stranding. It's like it has this nice ambiance. There's some rain happening. We got a lot of cliffs. There's like no story really so far. I mean, there kind of is, but not really. I'm just running around this open world, and it very much is like this is a video game, which I don't like. I'm fine with. Where we have these floating fucking things you can jump off of and rings everywhere. Like I'm totally fine with that. Doesn't bother me in the slightest. It just doesn't feel fun to me, like
Mm.
running around in a 3D world as Sonic. I loved Sonic Adventure 3D Battle or whatever the fuck on the GameCube, but I mean, I was 12. This is really the first Sonic game that I've played since then. Like I played a little bit of Sonic Mania on the Switch a couple years ago, but I really didn't play very much of it. So I don't know if I just have outgrown Sonic. I don't know if just this game just doesn't work with me, but like I turned off my PlayStation last night and I was like, I'm never touching this game again. And it's a shame because it does seem like it has some cool concepts and some cool ideas. Like they're like these little boss battles and shit now. Like they were, boss fights in the original games, but like they were really, really simple. But yeah, so if like Sonic Frontiers is a game that you were like really itching to try, but you just don't want to throw down the money for it, it was half off on Amazon a couple weeks ago, so that's why I got it. But yeah, Cayman, I'll give it to you, and then once you're done with it, if anyone in the audience wants it,
I
it's
want to
all
see how.
yours.
I mean, you know me, like I like janky ass shit. I haven't
Sure.
played a Sonic game in forever, so it was one when it was marked down. I was like, maybe I'll get a copy myself, but I'm glad I
Yeah.
didn't. I did.
And
I will
like
say,
it's good.
no. Please continue.
I was gonna say, like, it so far, I haven't even really noticed much jank. It just like doesn't feel good to me. Like
Mhm.
there was a couple things where like I'm trying to get to this thing, and like it's very clear that like I'm supposed to jump here, go to that thing, bounce off, and get to this thing, press R to go through this little thing that's gonna make me go even faster, and it just like wouldn't work. And I don't know if it's because I was like missing a power. I don't know if it's because I just fucking suck. I don't think so. I think it just wasn't working, and like so there was a little bit there, but like it was performing fine. There wasn't a ton of jank. It just wasn't interesting. But yeah, what were you gonna jump in with?
I was just gonna say that I opted instead of getting Sonic Frontiers, I ended up getting Ghostwire Tokyo on Black Friday sale.
Nice.
So that's one that like I think once I'm done with everything, like I still need to go back and finish up post game God of War stuff. I don't know if I'll get the platinum for it. It seems like that's going to be a bit of a hassle and not worth my time. Um, but yeah, that's I think what's going to be what I play next. Because that does seem like it might be up my alley, and it was like $20. So like fuck it. But
Sure.
Sonic Frontiers. That's what's hilarious about what you just said, Patrick.
Tell me.
It is currently leading in the fan vote for Game of the Year for the Game Awards.
Stop. No, it's not. Oh my god, that is hilarious. Sonic fans
So fucking
are
rabid.
rabid. They
Yeah.
are like a different breed of fucking psycho Sonic fans.
Yeah.
Somehow we barely get any views on this podcast, but somehow we're gonna have 1,000. It's gonna be a bunch of Sonic fans just ripping us to shreds because of my opinion and because of what I just said. Yeah. But yeah, Sonic fucking not good for me. John in the chat, I stand by Sonic, has never had a good game, and I love Sonic. And that's the thing. Like, I liked the movie. I still haven't seen the second one. Like, I think the character's fun, but man, this game just doesn't feel good. But maybe the sequel will be good. But came in before we jump on into the news. I wanted to bring in one more thing.
Please.
We're talking to our good friend Boston Mike.
Yes.
And he recently bought a copy of the Callisto Protocol, which might be the next game I play. I'm between that and Midnight Suns. I haven't decided which one I'm going to jump into next.
Oh, that's right. Midnight Suns. Yeah.
Yeah. I was looking at them both last night. I was like, should I do one of these or should I just have Sonic? Because I fucking bought Sonic and I bought Sonic. And I was like, fuck. But Mikey's been playing the Callisto Protocol and he sent us a voice memo of his first impressions. And so I want to introduce to the show a new segment to what we're playing, which is what's our audience playing? So I want to test this out, see how it works. I meant to test this pre-show with you with audio, so I don't know how it's going to sound. But if this works, I would love to do this in future episodes. And if you're in the audience, send us a quick little voice memo or a DM, like a minute long of what you're playing, and if you like it or whatnot. If this works, but yeah. So this is let's do just a quick test to make sure this actually comes through, and then we can play the whole thing.
All right. This is
Can
my
you hear
early
this?
impressions of Callisto Protocol. The good, it looks gorgeous. The character actors are all awesome actors in real life, so I like that they chose them. And I think the story is going to be pretty cool. It has me wondering what it's going to be like at the end right now, so that's great. The bad, the controls suck ass. I don't understand it. I don't know why they just didn't copy all of just Resident Evil controls. The controls suck. And it just crashed a few times. But I've been good ever since the initial install. So really my only hiccup is just the controls are just so wonky. I just don't understand why it's just not normal controls that we're just used to. But other than that, the monsters are pretty cool. There's tons of gore. There's an outrageous amount of gore. Have had a few jump scares already. So yeah, that's that. I think, I mean, it's definitely worth playing so far for first impressions. These controls though, man, they're bad.
There you have it from our correspondent in the field, Boston Mike. Controls suck ass, but it seems like so far that it's worth playing. So yeah, Nick in the chat. I love bringing an audience opinion. Yeah, I thought it was fun. So yeah, if you let's keep trying this out, and maybe if depending on how that audio comes through, maybe we can figure out a way to make it sound better. But yeah, so that's based on what he's saying. That might be the next thing I jump into. But go ahead, Caleb, what's up?
It's interesting. I've seen so many opinions on this game, and I do feel like this. Okay, so hear me out. Saints Row, Gotham Knights, Callisto Protocol. Yeah. I don't think people were really expecting Saints Row to be good, but they were expecting these other two games to be good. However, they're all hitting its like fives, right? Across like these big AAA games hitting fives. Saints Row, obviously, like I said, one I don't think people give two shits about, but Callisto Protocol is something that was like highly anticipated, at least especially for both of us.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And so I think even between those three games, this one is the most divisive of the three.
Yeah.
Mainly because like I have people that are like, yeah, man, like this is what Dead Space, this is like the next Dead Space. And you have people like that. And then you have people who are like, I don't know what they did when they made this game, but these guys are smoking crack. This game is dog shit.
Yeah.
One of the things that stuck out to me the most was I was watching a review. I think it was from it wasn't Watch Mojo. It was one of the other ones like that. And basically what they were doing is they were talking about the game. They're like, yeah, so basically there's points in the game where they have designed jump scares. And those design jump scares, the enemies, there's no way to not trigger it, but the enemies will damage you. And if you're too low of health when you enter into that written jump scare, it will kill you and you have to start over. And they're like, what in whose head were they like, this was a good idea?
I mean, I guess fucking don't be dying, but yeah, I don't like that. I don't love that. I don't love that. You're right.
Yeah, and then they're like, there's other just like really, and I think that's the thing is like, if you look at certain games, like a lot of the shit that people were throwing or leveling at things like Saints Row and Gotham Knights were just like performance issues. Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong, like there's performance issues, especially on PC for Callisto Protocol. But like those two games in particular, a lot of it was just like, this just runs like dog shit. Yeah. But with like Callisto Protocol, they're like the design choices are what hurts this game more than anything else. Yeah. They're just like, what? Or like, God, that's just a bummer. Like,
yeah. I mean, I will say, so there have been a lot of, so there's the design issues that some people are having problems with, but there have, like you said, like on PC, apparently it runs like total shit. Did you see there was a story today? Apparently, so Glenn Schofield, the studio director who was the original creator of Dead Space, which obviously this game is like the next Dead Space, said apparently in the like right before the game launched, they like implemented this patch, and someone at the studio fucked up the patch. Like they were like essentially they were doing a rush job, and they accidentally made this game perform like dog shit. When like so they were like basically he was saying like 2 weeks ago this game performed fine, but we accidentally broke our own game. And so he's like, obviously like we're trying to figure out what happened, but ultimately like I'm the studio head, so this is my fault, which I respect him for being like taking ownership, even though technically it wasn't his mistake. But like, what an unfortunate thing that like that essentially just like a silly mistake has now for a lot of people ruined this game, and a mistake that will be fixed very shortly. Like they were like, we're already working on the patch. It's gonna be fixed. And Mike said like the day one patch for him has already smoothed it out a little bit, but yeah, what an unfortunate, like this is the kind of a game where it being a new IP, it kind of riding on the coattails of Dead Space, one of the most celebrated horror games of all time, this kind of being like the next generation of Dead Space, and a mistake might be the thing that potentially kills the future of this franchise. Yeah. And that's fucking, what a bummer.
Yeah.
I'm still going to play it for sure, but.
Oh yeah, same here. And And that's the thing too, is, these are $70 games you're launching right before Christmas. So like, it's the tough one because it's, like the two of us have more expendable income than some people do.
Sure.
But at the same time, like a lot of my money, a lot of my expendable income right now is going towards purchasing all these other people in my life's presents so that they can enjoy Christmas and I can, treat them.
Yeah.
So it's tough for me to be like that. I'm going to drop $70 just on myself to play this game,
Sure.
and the game being the state it is that's a tough sell for me.
Yeah, and also like I very much don't like to subscribe to the ideology of like, oh well, it's only an 8 hour game, so like it's not worth my $70. But like
No,
right
that's
now in my
bullshit.
exact moment in life, that is a consideration for me. Like kind of to your point, like it's not like we just got a new car. So like we just spent a lot of money. So it's like I don't
Yeah.
necessarily have like this is the game. So Mikey bought it. He's gonna lend it to you. I might even just wait until you're done with it and borrow it instead of dropping $70 on a game that I might be done with in 3 days. Like I don't typically like to have that mindset, but that's just my position right now.
There's
And so that's
also
something
no new game plus.
really.
Yeah, so it's like all these upgrades and all this stuff that you've done the entire game. You want to go
Yeah,
play the game again in like God mode essentially, and it's like it's
you
not an
can't.
option for you. Like that's
Is there a
another
new
one where
game?
it's like,
Is there a new game plus in Ragnarok? I don't know that I saw one when I finished it. I mean, there's a lot to do afterwards, but
yeah, I don't know. I haven't crossed that bridge. I know that they patched in a new game plus for the original
yeah,
God of
that's
War. But
that's
like
probably the
most
plan.
like I feel, and that's one of those things where I feel like this is where we are in this world right now. Like in video games, if your game doesn't have a new game plus and your game's, 8 hours long, like even something
Yeah.
like Evil West, which is very PS3 apparently, like that has a new game plus. So it's like what, like I hope you patch a new game plus in because that
Yeah.
seems like a game I would want to, you know,
Yeah, for sure.
to
That is
do
definitely a
that.
game I would wanna do a new
So
game plus in.
I don't know, like that's this is just a huge bummer to me. But
Yeah.
Patrick, let me tell you something
Tell me,
that
baby.
is the game that doesn't need a new game plus because it already has one, but also it's got new DLC.
Ooh.
So this
We talking
comes
about
from
Elden Ring.
This comes from Ryan Dinsdale at IGN. He says, From Software has confirmed that Elden Ring's long rumored Coliseum DLC is real and it's available tomorrow, December 7th, for free. So if you're listening to this on podcast, it's already live. Revealed in a new trailer, the Coliseum update unsurprisingly adds new PvP modes and lets players face off in the grand arena scattered around the lands between. The trailer doesn't go into specifics on what all of these new modes will be, but does clearly show both one-on-one battles alongside what appears to doubles and even three-on-three fights. The trailer's description also mentions free-for-alls, whatever that means. Quote, come forth, warriors, and bask in the glory of the Colosseum. The Colosseums of Limgrave, Lindell, and Caelid will open their gates, allowing players to engage in battles such as duels, free-for-alls, and team fights. The Colosseums have existed within the game since its launch, but have been inaccessible in normal gameplay. That didn't stop some people from exploring the area, though, as some modders got it worked as early as April. PvP wasn't an option, of course, but various gladiator-esque fighting sequences were discovered, including fights between warriors and giant lions. Different sites of greats were also found in the area, suggesting that From Software would at some point allow people to travel between each Coliseum. We finally know for sure, however, that the surprise launch tomorrow will be the first piece of DLC outside of regular updates and patches that Elden Ring has received.
I hadn't watched this trailer. I just knew it was announced. This looks awesome.
Yeah, the trailer looks really cool.
It looks really cool. I didn't know that you could have a whip in this game.
What? Yeah, it sucks. Well, I mean, no, there's good builds with it.
Okay, because
I wasn't a fan.
You weren't a fan. Okay, but so Cayman, so you were the Elden Ring boy, the old Elden
I
Ring
know.
boy.
Mhm.
Is this going to bring you back? Are you jumping in the Elden Ring train?
Absolutely not.
Yeah. No, you're not.
No. Sorry. Yeah, the head nod and did I just
Yep.
no? Yes, absolutely will not get back in. This is not bring me back in because I don't like PvP.
Me too.
Yeah, and here's the thing, like Elden Ring and the Soul series, there are people who only play these games for invading. Like that's what they're drawn to this.
Yeah.
I am the complete opposite. If you were to tell me like, hey, there is new story content, or which there's not a story. Well, there's a story in Elden Ring, but whatever it is, I couldn't tell you. Nor probably anyone could tell you.
Best narrative of 2022.
So, but if there's like more like, hey, here's this new huge open area that you can go explore with a bunch of new bosses and lore and all that stuff, like I might consider getting back in for that.
Yeah. Do you think
But
we're gonna get that?
Honestly, I don't think so.
Yeah. It's odd to me that this today, Tuesday the 6th, comes out tomorrow, Wednesday the 7th. Thursday the 8th is the Game Awards, which a lot of people, I think, assume Elden Ring will win Game of the Year. If it's not Elden Ring, it's going to be God of War.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised that we're not seeing this at the Game Awards, which makes me wonder, will we get something bigger at the Game Awards?
That's the assumption.
Right? Like, we have to. There's no way this is the only thing that we're going to get from Elden Ring, right?
I mean, that's the thing. I think, like, on one hand, yes, I think that this is prime for additional story DLC. Like big DLC content could come in. They've done it with pretty much all the other games. I think I can't say off the top of my head that Sekiro got DLC content, but I know for a fact that all the other Dark Souls games did. Bloodborne even got the old Hunters, so they've done it in the past.
Right,
but at the same time, there's like Miyazaki said the other day that it was like, yeah, we're in the final stages of our new game. So it's like, I don't know, maybe that's the big reveal is like, oh, hey, guess what? We just have a new game coming.
Man, can you imagine if we got fucking Elden Ring 2 at the Game Awards or whatever that is?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing on that one. I think the likelihood is we might get like something based around Sekiro that seems way more small.
Sure.
I don't know. Like, the thing is with Elden Ring is like, you could in theory do an Elden Ring 2 and use the same world and then like just rebuild it. But then again, it's like, I don't know, like, are they building this game to be cross-gen, or is this like just for the next gen? Like, I don't really know how big FromSoft is now. Like, how large are they? Do they have the bandwidth to be able to have two games working at once?
One guy.
Oh, that's
one
true.
guy
It's just Miyazaki
all these games.
fucking grinding away.
Nick, I've had this up for a second. Finally playing Elden Ring at Christmas time will be my first Souls experience. I'm excited. Cayman, do you have any tips for Nick? And then also kind of for me, because I want to play this soon too.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's my thing with that is, don't worry about a specific build right off the bat. I think that's the big thing. Don't lock yourself into anything immediately. So just keep an open mind on what you want to be, because it really isn't until probably halfway to 3/4 in the game that you're really going to flesh out what you want your build to be for the rest of your experience. Then you can start dumping points into those. You can also respec, which it puts you behind like a couple levels, but not a huge deal. So I would say, like, if you're new to Elden Ring, like, don't stress that much about it. Also, don't beeline straight to Margot.
Okay, Margot's the first boss. That kind of like
Margit. Yes, do not beeline there right off the bat. You will get your teeth absolutely fucking kicked in. But I would say the first thing you should do, try to get to your third side of grace. Go ahead and pick up your horse and get your horse Torrent, because that's going to open up a lot of places. And just go explore that first open area a lot. Get yourself comfortable with the combat flow. Get yourself comfortable with how you want to play the game. I personally never really was successful with parrying.
Okay.
Because it's very unforgiving if you can't parry correctly. But if you do, like I did, and I did like a strength build right off the bat, you can use like a heavy shield and like basically block a lot of incoming attacks. That will help you out significantly. But I will say, like, don't stress about like what you want your build to be, unless you just want to be magic build, then like you kind of have to put it towards magic. But like, build out your stamina, build out your health, and then like magic should be, unless you're just specifically a magic build, should be like the last thing you focus on, because your health is going to be critical. And just explore. And that's, I think, the one issue or the one concern I have with you playing, Patrick, is like, that's what you're going to have to do. There's no guidelines on how you play this game. There are bosses that you have to face at certain places, but you can take on certain bosses in random order. And you're kind of locked out of one particular area. You're locked out so you can't, but that's like a big story area. And there's like a really only there for like one big story moment so that it basically sets the end of the game in motion.
Okay.
But outside of that, just like explore, go check out new weapons, see what fits for you. If you want to play fast, if you want to play slow and strong, like the world, the sky's the limit for how you want to play the game. So don't try to pigeonhole yourself in too early. It took me, I would say, because I platinumed the game in about 100 hours. I would say it was around hour 50 for me that I finally figured out what build I wanted to have. So
interesting. Okay.
Just don't stress it that early on. Just go have fun and get your teeth kicked in repeatedly because you were going to die.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I expect that. I don't mind the dying. Sometimes I just need someone to hold my tiny little hand to.
Yeah, no, look, that's my biggest issue. That was like what I was the most scared about with Elden Ring. Wasn't as much the difficulty as it was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to be going and doing. And there's going to be times where you're just going to have to look at a guide because.
Yeah, I think I'm going to just start with a guide until I feel comfortable. And then,
hey, if you ever get stuck on a boss, just shoot me a message and I'll jump into your game and be your boss in 10 seconds.
I do have the benefit of having a co-host that has platinumed this video game, and I should be using that.
My build, literally, when I went through, because I ended up doing New Game Plus to get like one final weapon I needed for the platinum, and I literally cakewalked myself all the way to like that big area, which is like right before like the turning point in the game, and it took me 35 minutes. I literally 2-hit killed the first boss.
Wow.
That's how fast I just threw it. Like just absolutely ran. Like that's the thing, like New Game Plus in this game, if you're that high of level, it means nothing.
Like, that sounds fun though.
It's like God mode. It was awesome.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about a game that doesn't have builds, but it does have parrying. And that's Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I'll give that transition like a C+. So I'm pulling from Logan Plant at IGN. Let me do a quick little share because we have some images or a image of the new Jedi Survivor game. So Logan at IGN says just hours after Star Wars Jedi Survivor's release date seemingly leaked on Steam, EA has revealed that gameplay for the highly anticipated title will appear at the Game Awards 2022 later this week. We also got a brand new piece of art for Star Wars Jedi Survivor showing Cal Kestis and his droid BD-1, who is one of my favorite droids, if not my favorite. Today's leak listed March 15 as the release date for the Fallen Order sequel. This lines up with EA's plan to release a major game before April 2023, as we learned last month. It's possible that the rumored date could be confirmed alongside the gameplay showcase at the Game Awards. Star Wars Jedi Survivor was first announced this past January. EA released a trailer in May that confirmed the title as well as a 2023 release window. The game's going to follow Cal Kestis sometime after the events of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, when he's still on the run from the Empire. The action RPG from Respawn is coming to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Cayman?
Yes, sir.
Just look at this boy.
He looks grizzled as hell, and I love
He looks like he has seen some shit.
Some shit, indeed.
I am so excited for this video game, Cayman.
You platinumed the first one, correct?
I did. I platinumed the first one twice.
That's right. You did. You know, a fun story. So when I went to platinum the game, I had one collectible I couldn't find.
Really?
And because the map was so terrible.
The map
was awful. I really hope they fix that shit in this game because that map was terrible. I really couldn't find the last collectible I needed and just gave up. I was one collectible away from platinuming the game and just gave up.
I mean, if the very first time you click the little thumb or the little touchpad of the controller and BD-1's map shows up, if that looks just completely different, nothing will make me happier because map, I mean, playing it a second time, there were some trophies where I was like, I don't know if I want to run around Kashyyyk for another 30 hours, not really 30 hours, trying to find, I wouldn't be surprised if the collectible was on Kashyyyk because that place specifically was awful for finding collectibles. But I am so excited. I'm bummed that I'm not going to be able to watch the Game Awards live because I would love to watch this as it happens, but it's for a very good reason that I'm not going to be watching.
That is true. A very good reason that you have. But guess what? I will be live tweeting through the Game Awards on the Spotlight Games Twitter account. So if you are on Twitter and want to see my thoughts, they're not as good as Patrick's thoughts, but they're
That's
thoughts.
not true.
I don't
That's
know,
simply
man.
not true.
You have better thoughts than me.
Look, if something massive happens at the Game Awards, text me, and if I can, I will sneak into the bathroom, watch it, and tell you my thoughts so we can tweet it. Just don't tell Katie and Elliot. They probably won't listen because they're getting married on Thursday. There's no way they're going to listen to this before their wedding. So after their wedding, they'll listen to this. They'll be like, they're going to be on their honeymoon. I don't know where they're going. They're going to be listening to it together because that's what married couples do. They do things together. True. And they're going to be listening to this story. And they'll be like, that's why Patrick disappeared.
That's why he was in the bathroom for 2.5 hours.
I thought he was just ripping ass, taking a gnarly shit, but really he was watching this trailer.
So Jeff Cayley actually said that this will be a shorter experience than previous game shows or game awards. Sorry. So I'm curious about like the length. Like last year's was what, like almost 2.5. It was 2 hours.
It was almost 3 hours. It was a long show.
So I don't know what that means exactly. If shorter means it's closer to the 2 hour mark or if it's even shorter than that. I won't say I'll be opposed to shorter than that just because my attention span is so short. But definitely excited for it.
All right, Cayman, we have hit a milestone. We got fucking spam in the chat.
Oh, fuck yeah. It's about time.
The legendary Link News, whatever this is. Hi, I want to offer promotion of your channel. Viewers, followers, views, chatbots. The price is lower than any competitor. The quality is guaranteed to be the best. Auto on. Incredibly flexible and convenient order management panel. Everything is in your hands. Turn it on/off/customize. Go to dogehype.com. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
I have no dogehype.com. What is this fucking Elon Musk's? This is how he's funding Twitter now, is getting people on Twitch to do shit like this.
Jump off a bridge, Doge Hype. What the fuck is that? I don't even understand what they're trying to get me to do with their spam. That's how bad the spam is. But
good lord.
If I knew how to ban people, I'd fucking ban you, Doge Hype. But I don't know how to do it. I'm not that smart.
Get out of here, you.
Nick, dude, that's a great offer. Herschel uses it. Fuck. If Herschel uses it, fuck that.
I don't know, man. I don't know if you know this, but werewolves can kill vampires. I saw that on a movie once. You fucking loser. And he called it a shitty movie. He called Fright Night a shitty movie. He's made a mortal fucking enemy out of Save Trash Cinema.
Is Fright Night the Colin Farrell movie?
They made a remake of it.
They made a remake of it.
Okay. And I think it also had R.I.P. What's his face? Anton Yelchin was in it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, R.I.P. What a fucking story that was. But anyway,
man, bummer.
Okay, there really is not a clean way to do this, so I just want to talk about The Last of Us. Fuck Doge Hype. Let's talk about The Last of Us. So they released a new full trailer today. So we've gotten 2 teasers. We've got a couple rumple teasers, but now we have a full trailer. And Cayman, I want to do what we did last time. I want to watch it together.
Let's do this.
And I want to talk about it together. So let me know sound levels, how it sounds as it comes through.
If you don't think there's hope for the
Sounds
world,
perfect.
Okay, great.
why bother going on?
You haven't seen the world, so you don't know. Going for family.
Family.
I'm not family.
No.
Family.
Why are you so important?
Do you hear that? Do you hear the theme in the background?
Somewhere out west.
Mm.
We're working on a cure. I think what really impressed them was the fact that I didn't turn into a monster.
You know, she looks so much like Ashley Birch.
So much.
Crazy.
Okay.
How dare they?
I'll take you with me. Do what I say.
You made me cry, Patrick.
Got any advice on the best way west? Yeah, go east. You've come this far. what's out there.
You're not gonna scare us. Scared who?
You have a greater purpose than any of us could have ever imagined.
Be careful who you put your faith in.
Nope.
It might not be her father. It's your son's.
You trust me?
Goosebumps, man.
Are
Fucking
you
goosebumps.
kidding me, HBO? Are you kidding me? It looks so fucking good.
Patrick?
So there are some things we got to talk about. First of all, the music. To bring in "Take on Me," Are You Kidding came in.
I got a lot of thoughts, Patrick.
Okay, so let's do some high level thoughts, and then let's do some pauses. We got some screens that we got to talk about, but overall thoughts. Where's your head at?
This just looks so fucking good. Like, I can't even put into words like how good this looks right now.
I'm in shock how good this looks.
Do we know how many episodes it's going to be?
There's going to be 9.
Okay, that worries me.
And they say, I agree, because they said, or Bella Ramsey has said, this is going to cover the entirety of part 1.
Okay,
and
so that's
as we
my
see,
question.
Well, as we see from some of the screens, like we're about to get one, we're also getting left behind here.
Yep.
And Cayman. So this trailer was unveiled at CCXP. It's like a con down in Brazil. And in the con, during the panel, Neil Druckmann, game creator and director, who is co-running the show, also said that we're going to be getting stories in this show that were originally written for the game that had to be cut for various reasons. So we're getting like original story content that the game had to cut. Maybe it's this couple about go east if you need to go west. I don't know what the new content is. Maybe it's the lady from the Yellow Jackets, but that's a lot to put into 9 episodes.
Yeah.
So sorry, continue.
Yeah, that's one, like, look, this looks absolutely incredible. And what I can only imagine is, and that's, well, that my worry is that a lot of these stories, things like Bill, like this with him, it's like, he's going to get just one episode. You're going to have the David situation. He's going to have one episode. And like, that's worries me a little bit. Like,
sure.
I do feel like this maybe could have been stretched for 2 seasons, and you could have given us, maybe 8 here, 8 there, and have 16 for part 1. Like, I like that idea. That worries me that we are going to end up in a situation where some parts are going to feel rushed, or we're not going to get as fulfilled by some of these things. The thing is the game is, what would you say? You've played it more times than I have, though I've played it a few. I mean, it's about 12 to 15 hours total, depending on how fast you burn through.
Depending on how fast. I mean, I would say, like, if you're just doing story content, you cut all of the fucking going through drawers, going through like all that stuff. The actual main golden path, I would say, I mean, not that there's a lot of extra stuff, but I would say like between 8 and 12, somewhere in that range. So like that in theory would fit. Like if we're having 50-minute, maybe we have a couple 65-minute episodes, like, and so that, like, we're almost there, but then you're bringing in Left Behind, you're bringing in this new content. So I mean, obviously there's going to be stuff from the game that they cut. It makes sense. I mean, in this trailer, we showed us Bill, it showed us David, it showed us Henry and Sam, it showed us the Ish stuff in the so like it's showing us a lot of the game, which is great, and I love that. But I am a little bit concerned that maybe there's going to be, because also like with the game, because of the nature of a video game, you can't walk across the entire United States, so they cut it into 4 seasons. And so I wonder if the show is going to follow the season structure, or like maybe they're going to cut it into like 2 episode chunks for each season or something. I mean, the math doesn't work out, but maybe one season gets 3 episodes. I don't know. But so I wonder if they're going to do that, or I wonder if because the seasons typically, the change of seasons in between the change would be a lot of travel. And they've said that like we're going to be going to some places like Kansas City that the game didn't show. So like that, I wonder if maybe we're not going to do the season jumps. I don't know. Hard to say.
It would be like states instead, which would make sense.
Maybe,
like I'm fine
which would
with
make
that
sense.
too.
Yeah, I would. I'd be fine with that too. But so there are a few like shots in this that I want to talk about. This is like there are so many shots in this trailer, this being one of them, that look directly pulled from the video game. Like when you put
100%.
down the plank to walk across buildings when Joel, Tess, and Ellie are trying to get to the Capitol. Like that's one of them. And then there's also one, it's not a screen from the game, but it's a very big thing. So you and I talked a little bit about this last night. I'm trying to find it in the scrub. They show us a still, I think it's around this part. They show us a still and we see Ashley Johnson, who played Ellie in the video game. Here it is, holding a baby. This has got to be Ellie and her mom, right?
100%. Yeah.
100% has to be, which like, I think is like the perfect way to put Ashley.
Yeah, I would have loved that as a surprise though.
I would have loved it as a surprise.
Yeah, that's a big
like
bummer, man.
I'm a little bummed by that. Like she birthed the character, if you will, and now she actually is birthing the character in the trailer, which is cool. And then so you and I we were talking about this last night. I was like, so that must mean that Troy is her dad, right?
Oh, don't leave it on that screen.
I know. Wait, hold on. All right, let me go back and I'll pause it again. I missed it again. Who's that on the left of David?
Oh no! See, that sucks too. Like,
right?
Okay. Like, make Troy the dad.
You're right. So last night I'm like, man, it sucks that it's just going to be that they're her parents. But now that I see that he's with David, I'm like, no, make them both her parents.
Yeah, that sucks. I don't like that.
But I do hope that maybe he has like a bigger part. Like even though it would be a part that I would rather him be like a good guy, but because he doesn't do a lot of film and TV, so I'm excited about that. So there's that, and then there's a couple other things. I briefly mentioned it. Actually, here's one. I wonder. So this little section here, they're talking to this couple where he's like, "How can I go? Do you have like a suggestion to go west?" And he says, "Go east." And then she's like, "You're not going to scare us." And the girl's like, the woman's like, we seem to have scared him. I wonder when this happens. Like, I wonder if this is pre-David, post-David. Like, I'm so interested in these new characters they're introducing and seeing where they fall in the show. Also, that quick shot of Marlene.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Oh, oh man.
That's still right there. Yeah. That is like ripped straight from the game. Like that's so cool. Like recreating that is just so fucking cool to me. I think so. There was a moment when I was telling you when they showed David and Sam, and I don't think we'd gotten confirmation that they were going to be in the show yet. And when they popped up on screen and I saw Sam, I literally yelped out loud and was just like, no.
Yeah.
That episode, every time we get to that part in the game, this shit breaks me like you would not believe. This shit is going to destroy me seeing it played out in like this. I can't, I'm just going to be like, I can't do this right. Like just skip this. It's like I've watched Chernobyl like 7 times. Like I fucking love that miniseries. It's so good. But the scene when they have to go kill the dogs, I fast forward through it every single time after the first time I watched it. That's like the one, like I just skip through it. Nope, not worth it. This is going to be one of those ones where like it is going to wreck my world when this
show is going to hurt people.
Yes, it is going to be. I'm going to be belligerent during this particular scene. Probably the whole episode leading into it, knowing what happens. Is just I can't. Also, did you know? So another thing that's different is Bill has been shot.
I think we're gonna get more of Bill in this show.
So obviously, if you haven't played the game, spoilers, that doesn't happen in the games,
right?
So that's interesting. But at the end, I was talking to a friend of the show, Amber, good old Slamber, and Slamber was like, she was like, when the boomer, or what do they end up getting called, that this particular clicker,
Bloater, the bloater.
bloater. She's like, when it came with like just goosebumps. I'm like, I know, dude. Like when he crawls out of the flames, just like,
Yeah,
I'm also curious like when that moment is, because it's all dark outside, so it could potentially be around the same time as Bill, because that's I think
Could
the
be.
first time we're actually introduced to a bloater.
Yeah, in the
with
game, the
Bill.
first time is in the gym. It's in the school gym when you're
Yeah.
trying to find the battery for the truck. And this is definitely not in a school gym trying to get a battery of a truck. So I'm so excited. And I wonder if we're gonna get in the second game, I forget what they're called. They might be called like spitters or something. The ones that are like one step below the bloaters, where when you they can like spit shit at you and
Yeah.
I wonder if we're gonna get any of those, or even if we're gonna get like a new type of infected. That could be cool. But
Are you
man,
gonna replay the games before the show comes out?
so it's funny that you ask
Yes.
because I played The Last of Us Part 1 remaster or remake in September when it dropped. And like I felt like, you know what? I think I'll be good for a while. But I watched this trailer came in and I'm like, am I about to play The Last of Us for the like 9th time?
Do you think we're gonna get like obviously the first season is gonna be part 1? Obviously,
Yes.
like I would assume we're gonna get a part 2.
Yes.
So are we gonna get the same Ellie actress in part 2, or do you think they're gonna
I would
age
think
her
so.
up? Yeah, you think
I
so?
would think so. I don't know exactly how old she is. Let's do a quick little search.
Because what
Bella Ramsey
Ellie is what?
19.
All
In the
right.
first game, I don't know her exact age, but in the first game, I think she's around like 13, 14. So then
Yeah.
the second game is 4 years later. So she would be like 17, 18. So they're already kind of aging her down for this show. Like she definitely looks like a 13 or 14-year-old in the show, but she's
for
actually
sure.
19. So I bet they'll be able to make her. Then she's actually kind of playing her age in the second season. So I'm so interested in, because we know HBO, we know American television in general. They make shit go on for a long time.
Yes.
I wonder if we're going to get more than 2 seasons of this, or if Neil from the jump was like, we're not doing more than what the games have done. I don't know. Like I'm really interested to see if this is like a 2-season miniseries, or if this is like, if they're going to build it out into something more, because I don't know. I could potentially see them going the Game of Thrones route and like going past what the original creation has done so far.
I feel like
I don't know that
Neil would shut that shit down.
I
But
would think he would.
I could
but-
foresee him being like, we could do is like a Blast of Us 1.5, right?
Sure.
Where he's like, you know, we had story bits and like written out lore of like what happened in between game 1, game 2. We can do a second season over that, and then, you know, we do season 3, and then we go from that. My question is Ronda Rousey, is she going to play Abby?
Fuck you. I hope not.
Honestly,
she's a terrible actor.
You know who I would pick if you were to be like, Cayman, who would be the perfect Abby?
Cayman, who would be the perfect Abby?
Brie Larson.
I would support that.
I think
she's a great actor.
Yeah, she's a fantastic actress.
Yeah. And right now, for being Captain Marvel, she is built. She is fucking built.
Yeah.
So
I'm just
makes sense.
very much typecasting right now, and I know that's probably not right.
We're
basing just off what the character looks like that would be like.
I mean, so far they have done every character. Like if you put them next to their counterpart in the game, they look nearly identical. So I bet they're going to get a girl with some thick arms that like Abby has to play Abby. A woman who could tear me in half. They're going to get to play Abby. Yes. But the question, I don't know. I don't want to get into like future spoilers, but there's a lot of time stuff in the second game. So like, I wonder how they would navigate that, but we'll talk about that next season. This show looks fucking incredible. It starts in like a little over a month. And I am saying now on this show, I am interested, Cayman, in doing a weekly podcast discussion only about this show.
Okay.
And I'm saying this to our listeners because I want to know if anyone in our audience wants to be a part of it. Obviously, we're gonna have to look at schedules. We got to make sure like this can fit within this and Save Trash Cinema, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. But I want to at least have that conversation, and I'm interested in maybe bringing in some folks from outside to be a part of that because I think that'd be cool. So write in mail@spotlightgames.net if that's something that you'd be interested in, or shoot me a text or a DM or whatever, and we can talk about it. Also, I already took it off, but this really made me laugh. I want bandages constantly helping me heal, not only the characters, but my heart.
Yes.
Cayman, I said if we had time, we would talk about the Netflix thing. I say we don't have time.
Okay.
Maybe we'll talk about it another episode. But the really, really short version is Netflix is making a new game. And from the beginning, they want it to be a game that can also be a show. And I thought that was interesting. So maybe we can talk about it a different time. But I do want to end the show with an update of the 2022 game calendar, as we always end our show. We have a couple big updates for you. We got the PS Plus games for December that are out live now, which is Mass Effect Legendary Edition, Biomutant, and Divine Knockout Founders Edition. I don't know what Divine Knockout is. Mass Effect Legendary Edition, one of the greatest video game trilogies of all time. Biomutant is a game you didn't like very much. So there's some shit.
No,
you did
no.
like it?
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot.
Really? I thought you didn't.
No, I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah, it's just you have to go into it with the expectation that this game feels like a PlayStation 3 game, not in terms of like controls, but like the game design feels like one of those fun open world PlayStation 3 games, which didn't hit for everyone, but like I really enjoy that era of video games, so like that hit for me. So like I definitely recommend if you have PlayStation, especially PlayStation Plus, which if you don't have PlayStation Plus, you're fucking stupid.
Hey.
Yes, I don't. What did I say was wrong? What did I say was wrong? You can't play online games if you don't have PlayStation Plus. Like it's
maybe they don't like online games. Okay,
well, all right, fine. Well, I retract my statement. Gonna be on trial again, apparently. Where's Boston Mike when you need him?
The fucking wig is right there.
Good. But yeah, no, I definitely say like you definitely check it out. Like it's free. Like if you don't like it in the first 5 hours, like just stop playing. You're not gonna lose any money or sleep over it. But I actually thought it was pretty cool. It has some pretty cool game mechanics behind it. I definitely think it was unjustly overlooked for sure.
For sure. Well, my apologies for misremembering. That's on me and me alone.
That's on you.
And then Game Pass for December, out now, available on Game Pass. We got Eastward, which I don't know what Eastward is. The Walking Dead, the final season, which I'm realizing I don't think I ever played that. So I might pick that up when things slow down a little bit. Totally Reliable Delivery Service, Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, which is a game I had a ton of fun with. Hello Neighbor 2. Those are all out now on Game Pass. And then as of when this recording goes live on podcasts, also live will be Chained Echoes and Metal Hellsinger on Game Pass, which I thought was already on Game Pass, but maybe not. And then next week on the 13th, we are getting High on Life, which is the Justin Roiland game, which is pretty cool. I don't think I knew that was coming to Game Pass. And then Poison Craft, which I don't know. And then finally, for now, end of the first half of the month, Hot Wheels Unleashed, the Game of the Year edition, which who gave that game of the year? But and then Rainbow Billy are all coming on the 15th of December. And then finally, to round this segment out, Dead Island 2, we talked about it a couple weeks ago. It was pushed to April, but we don't think we gave a date then. We have a date now. It is April 28th. So if that's a game that you were interested in playing next year, put it on the calendar, April 28th, 2023.
Game of the year 2023.
We'll see. Cayman, there are two more things I want to discuss quickly, and then we can get the fuck out of here. The first thing, Nick asks a great question. Also, if we wanted to send in a voice recording of what we're playing and thoughts, how did you want us to do it? For now, let's do this. If you have an iPhone, you probably can do this on an Android as well. There's the voice memo app. Record a voice memo and email it to me, mail@spotlightgames.net. If that's too complicated, just text me or in our DMs, send us a voice memo. I don't know if you can save voice memos in Instagram DMs, so that might be a bad idea. But for now, if you can, mail@spotlightgames.net with a voice memo or a voice recording, however your phone does it. And we'll play one or two on air next week. And second, I think we have someone new in the chat that I haven't seen before. Guilty Remnant Smoker. I had seen this name come by a couple times, and it just clicked Guilty Remnant from my favorite show ever made, The Leftovers. Guilty Remnant Smoker. So I don't know who you are, but I love your username, and I just wanted to say hello and thank you for being here. And that's it. That's it for our show. Cayman, where can the folks at home follow you if they want to see your hijinks online?
No one wants to see those hijinks. You can find me at Kid Cayman on Twitter. You can find me at Cayman Darty on Instagram, or you can follow Save Trash Cinema at Save Trash Cinema on every single social.
Awesome. You can follow me at Patrick Schwag. You can follow. Okay, wait a second. Why didn't I know this? It's my sister. Hey, Kiki. How we doing?
She's going to
I'm an
come in here
idiot.
to tell you that you watched the wrong skyscraper.
I'm an idiot. Yeah, I know. I'm an idiot. You can follow me on Twitter, Patrick Schwag. You can follow the pod on Twitter at Spot Games Pod, or you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and here on TikTok at Spotlight Games Pod. Cayman, I had a great time. This show, I tell you what, The Last of Us is going to blow my skirt up. But until then, Cayman, remember,